and it can measure your fat, your muscle, your body water. It'll even give you your metabolic age. And that was the
Wow.
other thing that just shook me to the core, because it said that my metabolic age was 63 years old. And
Oh,
I was like, oh no,
yeah.
like, oh no. And when I tell you that day, that day, within the hour, I got in my car and went to the gym. So something has been bothering me. It's been bothering me for years. And I just really feel like I need to get it off my chest and talk about it. And the thing that's really bothering me is you know how you and I met.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met. For those who don't know, we met because we both work for a health insurance company, and I still work for the health insurance company. And what's bothering me is, for years I've been seeing case after case after case of people who are in their 60s who are just calling in every day, and they are calling in because they need one of the ologists. And when I say ologist, I mean they need the rheumatologist, they need the nephrologist, the endocrinologist, the cardiologist. I'm on and on and on and on. And I am in no way minimizing what people are experiencing in their 60s, because I know we all kind of fall down when you get older. But I just feel like it doesn't have to be that way. I really do.
Absolutely not. Um, and I agree with you. I remember taking some of those calls and you were able to see someone's age. And some of those people were my age, if not younger. And just having so many ailments. And it's not to shame anyone. It's just kind of sad because even if you're someone who has a lower income, there are certain things that we can do that we can take care of ourselves, better. And it doesn't cost a lot of money. Of course, diet and exercise. Everyone's diet may not be 100%. They can't afford some of the foods, but there are ways to work around eating decently, the best that you can for your dollar. And then definitely exercise is free.
Yeah, the moving, that's the key thing. And that's what we're really going to get into today. Because again, not minimizing, not putting down anybody who is having a hard time, because the group that I work with, the cases that I see on my job every single day, I'm working with those who are on Medicare who are struggling, and I get it. They're struggling, and I'm here to help. Like, I really want to help, which is why I just felt the need to have this conversation today, because it's been bothering me. And one of the things that's bothering me, or was bothering me, is that I was seeing myself going in that direction. Like, I was seeing myself as a woman in her 50s who was out of shape, who wasn't eating well. And I'm like, oh my goodness, when I get into my 60s, I'm going to be one of those people who's going to be calling up my health insurance company saying, hey, I need an ologist. I need a endocrinologist, cardiologist, rheumatologist, like, and I didn't want to be that person. So I spent the time, I put in the work to make a change, to lose the weight, to get moving. And we really need to talk about what we can do to help those who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s to get it together right now, so that you're not one of those people who, when you get to your 60s, you're like broke down, busted, and disgusted and really struggling to get out.
Yeah, everyone has a why. And my why, I remember, was just seeing my grandmother, the one that lived with us, and her being a very petite lady in height, but she was overweight. And then unfortunately, that brought on diabetes and different things. And she went through so much, and seeing her struggle, it just made me know that I don't want to do that. I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. I need to make sure that I'm moving. I don't want to struggle getting out of the tub. I don't want to struggle getting on and off the toilet. That's something that's just, we have to do that. But if you're having a hard time trying to get up off of the toilet or trying to pull yourself out of the tub, it's sad. It really is.
Yeah, it's very sad, and it doesn't have to be. The best healthcare is prevention, and movement is the medicine. So, we're going to talk about movement. The common illnesses that we see out there, we see the heart disease, we see the high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, arthritis, on and on and on and on. And these are all things that if you just, in some cases, just lose the weight. And believe me, I know losing weight is not easy. Those who know me know, and you saw on and heard on a previous episode, that I got on the GLP-1 medication because that was the thing that I needed to lose the weight. But it wasn't just eating less. I eat a lot less being on the GLP-1 medication. But one thing that my doctor told me before she was willing to put me on the medication was that exercise and strength training was non-negotiable. This was something that had to go hand in hand with the GLP-1 medication. And again, I'm not saying that that's something that's necessary for everyone. No, 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 no. That's what worked for me. But for everyone, we have to move more. Like we
Yes.
just have to.
And really, strength training is always great, especially as we age, because we lose muscle. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. That's when you start seeing, like, your parents and grandparents, and you notice that they're getting shorter, or you notice that they're slumping a little bit. And it's all of that posture and just muscle loss. Like, all of that's tied in together, and you need to work out. But yes, I mean, definitely getting your balance of exercise, meaning cardio, meaning strength training, stretching your body, all of those things go together. You need all of it.
Because the muscle loss is the key. Because if you lose your muscle, you lose your health. And we all see those people who are elderly, who they struggle, like KJ said, just getting up out of the chair
Yeah,
or getting out of bed or getting out of the tub. And then there are those who can hop right out.
yeah.
There are those who are in their 80s who can just get up and go. But those were people who started early. They
Uh-huh.
started in their 30s, maybe in their 40s, or even in their 50s, making a change and moving more. Because muscle loss, you lose that muscle, you're going to pay a really big price. And your metabolism slows down. Metabolism can rev up and stay revved up if you have the muscle. So you've got to keep that muscle strength. You just have to.
Yeah, and remember that muscle weighs more. So you think about, if you're packing on a little bit of muscle, that's going to help you burn fat more, which is great. Who doesn't want that? And then
Oh, right.
you think of women as we age, and then we start going through the whole, menopause phase. That's at the time where, unfortunately, our metabolism's slowing down a little bit anyway. And then you have, like, your whole belly fat area coming, and it's a nightmare. But if you're working out and you're doing, different types of workouts, that's a great way to try to combat that.
Oh, absolutely. And if you have the muscle, that also impacts the hormonal imbalance.
Yeah.
So the menopause is coming. If you
Yes.
haven't already experienced that, it's coming. But you can help to kind of offset some of the symptoms if you have that muscle strength. And also joint changes,
Oh,
because our joints are not working the way they used to, the knees, the hips, all
yeah.
those things start to go. But if you've got the muscle, then you've got the strength when your joints change.
Yes. And you think about when you are growing older and you start losing that muscle, no one wants broken bones because they're not going to heal. If you're a kid and you get the cast, it's on for a little while and then you're good as new. When you're older, if you break something, that healing time is way longer. So the more muscle that you have and the stronger you are and the more flexible you are, if just in case you may have that little slip or fall or something go on, you just don't want to have those severe broken bones.
No, because I keep hearing if you break a hip, man,
Yeah.
it's a wrap. Like
Yes.
it's really hard to recover from that, even with the surgeries and all that stuff. You don't want to break a hip. So we're going to talk today about that strength, staying strong, because exercise isn't just about weight loss. Like we have to get that point across that people think that those who are out there exercising are trying to lose weight. Not so. I mean, that is a primary reason why people exercise, but it's just the health part of it that's just so important. It's about strength, it's about longevity, it's about energy.
Yeah,
Those things are all super important for just keeping a balance and staying healthy. So let's like talk about the benefits of fitness for women over the age of 40 and those who are approaching 40 and beyond. So we need to get into the muscle strength. We need to talk about those things that strengthen your bones, support your heart and brain health, boost energy and mood, and just keep you in balance with the flexibility and ways to prevent injury.
definitely.
Yes. So let's start with strength training.
Okay.
So what's out there? Like what's out there? If I have no clue what to do, I can just tell you right off the top what I do. And not everybody can do what I do because, like I said, my doctor, who is board certified in internal medicine and obesity medicine, who was working with me to lose the 65 pounds that I lost, strength training was non-negotiable. So for me, I had to hit the gym a minimum of 3 days a week. Period. Not even open for discussion. Did I strength train and do I strength train those 3 days? Yes, I do. And on the other days, especially during the warm weather days, I'm doing the cardio. But the strength training is the thing for me. That's the thing that really moved the needle. It wasn't just about me taking a GLP-1 and eating less. So I'm lifting, I am using the machines. And I get that not everybody has access to the machines. So if you don't have access to the machines, there's still no excuse for not
No,
strength
not at
training.
all. I don't go to a gym. I have like a spare bedroom. When my husband and I bought our place, we could tell that probably someone built a nursery type room. So it's a smaller room, and we just went and you can purchase those floor mats that are springy and they piece them together like a puzzle. So we put that on the hardwood floor so that as we're, moving around, it's not shock on our knees and our joints. So we have that springiness on the floor. And then I have DVDs. We bought a $60 TV where, it's the old fashioned one with the DVD that goes in the top of it. But we just use that for videos to work out. So when you think of just buying a couple of weights from your local gym type store, and then those floor mats are really good. All of those things, you could probably do it for maybe like $100 or less. If you don't want to actually have to go to the gym and pay memberships, you could take a little bit of your house and make that your gym place to go.
Even if it's just,
Yeah.
standing in the middle of the living room or standing in the kitchen. You can do some squats, you can do push ups, you can do lunges. That costs you nothing. You
Yeah.
haven't purchased a single piece of equipment, but you're just moving, you're squatting, you're lunging, you're doing push ups, you're doing sit ups. All of those things are building strength.
Yeah. So one of the things that I like to do, I like to follow celebrities and kind of see what they do because usually we know that they have access to more. They're going to find out what's the latest and greatest before we do and then bring it to the mainstream. So I have three different types of workouts that I found are specifically targeted to women and basically targeted to women who are at least about 38 and up, I would say, which is
Excellent.
definitely our listeners. So the common denominator with all of these is that they're designed to make you stronger and leaner. So not adding like bulkiness. And I do want to say that there's nothing wrong with if you want to lift weights and become like a bodybuilder and really get bigger muscles, that's great too. You know, we're not saying that there's anything wrong with that because I do know that some people hit the gym and they're actually wanting like bigger muscles. So if that's for you, that's fine. I just noticed with these specific workouts because they're basically followed by actresses who can't be bigger or bulky. The goal is making them stronger and leaner, but still giving you a great workout. It's just you're doing a lot more repetitions. So instead of think of like someone using a 15-pound weights, maybe they would only do 10 reps of arm curls or something like that, shoulder presses. This would be using like 2 to 3 pounds or 2 to 5 pound weights and then doing higher repetitions. So maybe you're doing that movement 30 to 40 times. So you're still getting, you know, that cardio effect from lifting the weights, but you're also getting the strength training. You're just using a little bit less weight when you're lifting. So that's kind of something too. And I think sometimes as we age, that focus on high intensity starts shifting a little bit because we can't all just keep doing jump squats and, you know, jumping jacks and just all of that stuff that's really tough. Like when you're landing and you feel like, oh gosh, my ankle, ooh, my knee, you know, you may not be able to do those things anymore, but you can still get like a really great workout. So I wanted to focus on some things that really are a little bit more graceful movement, but are working to basically fatigue your muscles. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what you want is to feel fatigued so that you know that, okay, I've actually worked myself. So what I notice is that a lot of the workouts now, it's yoga, but it's weight loss yoga. So what that means is that you're incorporating movement within your yoga. You're not, let's say, just holding your pose, but you're actually moving through it. So maybe you're in a certain type of, like, I don't know all the names for the yoga poses, but if you're in that pose that's like a warrior pose, you may be moving through that warrior pose so that you're getting your heart rate up and you're also like moving those muscles. That's how you kind of get that cardio and strength because in yoga, you're using your own body weight. So that's a great thing too. People always think you have to use weights. You don't. When you strength train, you can actually use your body as your weight. So I noticed that's really catchy right now is the weight loss yoga. Also Pilates, whether it's floor mat Pilates or it's using the reformer, which is that big piece of equipment, like usually when you go to a Pilates studio, that's really hard but you get so lean and you also get a lot of if you're a person who's still into maybe wanting different cuts in your abs and you know actually like really seeing your workout on your body, pilates is a really great way to get those cuts in your body that you're looking for.
While still looking girly.
Yes. And then I would say also you're noticing a lot of ballet inspired workouts. They're growing in popularity. Ballet is hard. You know, even football players are sent to learn ballet because of the coordination, because it's very difficult. It looks so graceful and beautiful, but ballerinas are truly athletes. So, you know, those are the types of exercises that I'm seeing more so for women, especially as we're aging, because again, they're graceful and they're beautiful but you are moving and you're really doing the work to where the next day you're like, whoa, I actually feel what I did. So I would say the first one I want to get involved with, as we're talking, is PVOLVE. It's it's the letter P.
PVOLVE.
Yeah, it's the
What's
letter
that?
P and then VOLVE. So PVOLVE. Um, it aims to make you stronger and leaner. So according to them, working out, it shouldn't be painful or a chore. And I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yes, nobody wants to feel pain because then people will stop. They won't
Yeah.
go forward. They won't continue.
Yes. So it's a 20-minute total body workout for PVOLVE. It involves resistance equipment. So, of course, you get their mat. It's resistance band, a weighted ball, and they have bundles that they sell basically with all of their equipment. But it is something that you can stream. So was originally created by Rachel Katzman. She's an entrepreneur, but also like a fitness enthusiast. And Jennifer Aniston is the one that noticed this workout back in 2021. She was looking for something because, according to their website, was working on a movie and kind of injured herself a little. And so she didn't want anything that was going to aggravate that. So she started doing this particular workout. And then in 2023, she joined the company, which, kind of brings it more mainstream. But their workouts are really cool. It's using a lot of those almost Pilates inspired movements, doing very kind of low impact cardio, but always using this mat and like those little sliders that you put your feet on so
Oh,
that you can
yeah.
slide around on that mat and do different movements. It gives you a variety in your workout because the classes are never the same. So I think that's something that's really cool because it kind of ensures that you're never going to plateau. If you keep just putting the same workout in all the time, eventually your body gets used to it.
Right.
So they're making sure that you're always going to have something new. And I thought that was great.
That sounds really, really great. So, what I like about what you're describing is that it not only has the strength training component, but also like the balance and flexibility component. So
Absolutely.
you're building the muscle and the strength, but you're also stretching and building the flexibility so that you can continue to move as you age and things don't fall all the way down because that's what we
Yes.
don't want. So you need both. You definitely need
Yeah.
both.
So
So
again,
I really like
they
that.
have like your home bundles to purchase. They have streaming, and then they do have some studios. So when you go to their website, which is pvolve.com, you can just click the little area for locations, and it will basically tell you where they have studios. And here's the cool thing too, even if you're a fitness lover, there's also a franchise tab now on their website. So if that's something that you love and you're really focused on fitness and it's a passion for you, that's an idea too. But I highly recommend going to their website because they have so much sports research and clinical studies that they've done, and it's specific to women's bodies, especially on women 40 to 60.
Oh, wow. So that's perfect.
Yes. And I mean, of course, Jennifer Aniston, she's in her 50s. That's a good thing. I think that she got invested in something, really cool.
And it doesn't sound like it has the high impact because
No.
the jumping, the hopping, that just really takes a toll on your knees and hips and joints. And we just can't do that at this point. It's not recommended. It's
Yeah.
just not recommended.
Yeah.
For those who have been running all through your 20s, okay, then yeah, the high impact exercising is perfect. Keep going for as long as you can. But if you're just starting out, nope, don't start out doing something that's high impact. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You're going to get hurt, and we're going to keep saying that. Talk to your doctor first before you do anything that we're suggesting here. Talk to your doctor first. I spoke to my doctor. You need to talk to yours as well.
Absolutely. You have to make sure that your heart and everything is ready to go before you're starting a workout. So only your doctor is going to know that since they're the one who are, you're seeing and they're taking your levels and looking at your body and your history, make sure that you are talking to them. And no doctor is going to say, "Oh, no, don't exercise." Never
No.
met one.
No,
Yeah.
they're going to encourage you to do the preventive medicine that we're describing. And even if you're saying, this whole strength training thing that they're talking about, this balance, this yoga, Pilates, the PVOLVE, all that stuff, nah, I just want to get out and walk. There's value in that. And if you just want to walk, you need to walk because you have to build your cardio strength as well, the
Yes.
endurance, the stamina. So let's talk about cardio and how important that is in just your overall health.
Well, this next one I can tell you about does have a little bit more cardio and it involves a little bit more dancing. So if you're a
Mm.
person who likes dance, you're going to like this one. So the Tracy Anderson Method. This has been around for a long time. It was really brought to the forefront by Gwyneth Paltrow back in the day. Um, she invested in this company and kind of brought it to the forefront. And also, Tracy Ellis Ross is another celebrity that swears by this method. So, Tracy Anderson, I'm going to read you basically what the website says to describe this workout, and then I'm going to give it to you in some regular everyday verbiage that we can
That
understand.
would be great.
So the Tracy Anderson method, it's a combination of complex weight transfers, dance-inspired choreography, and multi-directional movement. No two workouts are ever the same because according to Tracy, the body demands change. So to kind of put that, in different terms that we can understand, Tracy's method is instead of just focusing on your larger muscle groups. So most of the time we know that if we go and we lift weights, that we're working our biceps or our triceps, or let's say for the leg muscles, it would be your glutes, your hamstrings, your quadriceps. So we all have heard of those larger muscles. But Tracy's claim to fame is that she works the smaller accessory muscles, those muscles that are around those bigger muscles. She works to strengthen and tighten those muscles. So her mission is to create balance where there's imbalance in the body. And she used research backed movement to achieve strategic body design. So it's almost like because she was a dancer herself, she's working to create more of that like lean dancer body. So focusing on those smaller accessory muscles instead of just your bigger muscles that we've all heard of is what's kind of like pulling everything together and streamlining. But her cardio in it is dance focused. So she creates all her own original dance routines. And that's basically what you're following. It, for the cardio part of it is almost doing like 30 minutes of dance. And then also doing her strength training movement, but using again lighter weights, using no more than like 2 to 5 pound weights and doing a lot of repetitions, or even putting ankle weights on to do the exercises for like your thighs and your glutes. But again, using like maybe 2 to 5 pounds for your ankle weights as well. So a very tough workout that you feel the next day. But if you're someone who loves dance and just kind of loves that free spirit, that kind of movement, you would love that workout.
And if
And
you're dancing, you don't feel like you're working out.
no, you're having fun. But I will say the great thing about her workouts too, there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced fitness levels. So if you're someone that's just starting out, she's got something for you. I would say because she's been doing this so long, sometimes it's best to kind of watch her videos first and just see her movement and kind of get that in your head, get your brain working. Just pay attention and focus to what she's doing. So that way, once you start, you don't feel like a fish out of water, because it can be a little intimidating if you've never danced before or have done any kind of like intricate movements. You may feel, oh gosh, I'm a little lost in this. So I would recommend just kind of watching first, seeing the way that she moves and kind of practicing like that little hip hop or different
Yeah.
things that she does. Kind of practice that first and then get into her videos.
I love that. So it sounds like a lot of fun. So let's have some fun with it. I really love
Yes.
this. Yeah,
So
and so you get cardio as well. So you get so it sounds like all three. We're hitting the strength training, we're hitting the balance and flexibility, and we're hitting the cardio.
yes. Depending on where you live, there are, I think, 7 studio locations around the country, but there's a virtual platform with an online studio. So, I mean, you can pay for private sessions if that's something that you want, but there's so much on her website. It is tracyanderson.com. And one thing I like about her website as well, it's very interactive. So you can click on like the lifestyle tab, and there's a bunch of recipes. She's definitely into the food piece as well. There's different types of workouts. So if you're wanting to do something that's closer to, let's say, what Tracy Ellis Ross does, you can see what those workouts are and, pay for those type of sessions. So that's one thing I like is the thing that I've noticed about Tracy Anderson and then also PVOLVE is their websites are very interesting to go to. You learn a lot. So if you're looking for clinical studies, if you're looking for science-backed information, you're going to find it there.
That's excellent. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you mentioned the food piece. I'm glad that they have that incorporated because you can't out train a poor diet.
Yes.
So, and not that we'll get into the whole diet and eating today, but it's important to incorporate that as well because you can eat yourself to poor health. So we want to get you moving, but it's great that there are programs out there that also will introduce you to a better way of eating. And it sounds like this is one of them.
Yes. So I do
Yes.
have one more. This one's
Well,
cool
let's
as
go for
well.
it.
So it's called BootyBarre. And bar is
What's it called? Say it again.
BootyBarre.
Love it. BootyBarre. What's BootyBarre all about?
So bar is spelled, of course, Barre, like your ballet bar. And it's by Tracy Mallett. She owns a Pilates bar and physical therapy studio in LA, Los Angeles, for those who may be out of the country. Tracy, she's a Pilates educator with over 30 years of experience. And Booty Bar, it brings a strong Pilates foundation to every movement. So her workouts, again, are designed to make you feel stronger, but also more flexible because of the Pilates. So anyone who's done Pilates before knows it's a lot of stretching your body, which is great as we get older because that's again what pulls you up, gets your posture taller. We're always, as we age, we're going to lose inches. I'm no longer going to be 5'9" soon. I'm going to start creeping to 5'8" or 5'7".
Oh
So
boy.
this is what happens. But again, stretching your body and keeping it strong and flexible and moving really helps you. So that's kind of what she does. So we think of like ballerinas and how athletic they are. They're graceful, but they're athletic. They're athletes. This workout involves a lot of like your ballet bar. So if you cannot afford to actually no one has like a ballet bar in their house unless maybe you're Misty Copeland.
Right.
you know, I'm pretty sure she has one. But if you can't, you can always purchase them, on Amazon or go to like your Dick's Sporting Goods, different stores, and get like a smaller bar that collapses. You can put it in the closet or whatnot. But if you don't want to do that, just get a chair. It has to be a sturdy chair, of course, to hold on to, but you're basically using that as your bar. So when you go and do like your Pele squats, um, you're going to have something that you can balance on. Basically, that's what you're using the chair or the bar for. So depending on the videos and the workouts that you choose, you do have to have some equipment. There may be like resistance equipment to use, your weighted ball, your bands, or sometimes she uses, again, light weights. So when we think light weights, that would be like your 2 to 3 pound weights that you're using so that you can get those muscles in your arms and your upper back. Um, the workouts can be anywhere from 10 to 60 minutes in length. So that's a good thing too. Sometimes we may not have the full 30 minutes, even though that's usually what they want you to have 30 minutes 5 times a week. You may only have 10 minutes. And guess what? That's better than not doing anything at all. So
Yeah.
you can kind of monitor this the way that you need to and customize those workouts. The one thing that they do offer is subscriptions. So there's two to choose from for your workouts if you're wanting to stream. I did actually purchase some of her videos, DVDs on Amazon just to try it. I kid you not, I probably would have done better, like seriously doing a high intensity cardio workout
Oh
because I was
boy.
like, whoa. I could not keep up with some of it. I mean, it's tough. So again, ballerinas, they are athletes. And
Definitely.
what they do with their bodies, it's no joke. So the average person trying this, I would definitely say go with the beginner videos because it's hard work, but you do feel it. So those are kind of the workouts that I notice are most popular right now. Again, Tracy Anderson, I forgot to say that her method usually is about, on average, 30 minutes. She does have some videos where they're 10-minute videos. So the great thing about those is you can stack those on top of each other. If you only have 10 minutes, great, get something done. If you feel like you have more time, layer in another video or two or three. You could even do an hour. So that's one great thing about purchasing DVDs now or streaming. You can basically customize the video the way that you need. If you're a new mom or, an older mom,
Like me.
you, you want to get something done, in the morning before the kids wake up. You may only have like, 20 minutes to do that. And then later on in the day, when everyone's gone to sleep, you may want to get an extra 10 minutes in, like of stretching or something like that. At least you can customize these videos, which I think is great. But again, what I noticed, the common denominator with these workouts is they're all designed to keep us lean, lean muscle, stronger with a lot of flexibility. So basically still keeping like that feminine type body, if that's what you're looking for, more of that dancer type body. Um, but focusing on 38 and up for age groups, working out and really keeping themselves together and being strong, but not killing yourself and not feeling like you have to do these super high intensity workouts in order to see results. So, one
Yeah.
thing that I notice about Pilates, the weight loss yoga, all of these different types of workouts, you start losing inches. What people need to know is that inches matter. Most people focus on the scale and they're just looking at, oh, I weigh this and I'm trying to lose X amount of pounds. You also need to lose inches because the inches are kind of like especially in that midsection where that harder fat that we want to go away is. So if you
Yeah.
can lose inches, that's really great for your health. Like when you think of your heart health and like anyone who's prone to having like diabetes run through their family, the more inches that you can get off your body, that's keeping you from all of those specialist doctors the ologist that we don't want to see if you can keep those inches, down.
Don't get fooled by the scale, because as you build the muscle, the scale may go up a little bit because muscle weighs more than fat. So
Yes.
you're losing the fat building the muscle. And so you've got that scale that might be moving or maybe not, but it's not about the scale. Let,
No.
let's let's not even focus on the scale.
And you know what? I had a gynecologist that told me really kind of focus on like your clothing size. If you start
Yes.
seeing your clothing where it's getting looser and you're having to go down in sizes, but the scale's not changing, then you know that you're doing something right because again, it's those inches. Remember that where our waist area, it's that's kind of like that the devil area, I call it, where
Yeah.
most of your like heart disease or diabetes, high cholesterol, all of that's coming from our midsection.
The visceral
So
fat.
yes, if you can keep your inches down and keep that waist like narrowing and that back area narrowing, that's going to help you. So don't get so caught up on the scale, but start looking at your clothing and, oh, wow, are things looser now? Am I having to, go down in sizes? Then you know that you're losing those inches, and that's a good thing.
And if you are going to focus on the scale, which again, we don't recommend, get a smart scale, because I have a smart scale. I use it every day. And I know there's some people who don't believe in those. They say, oh, that doesn't work. But it kept me motivated and still keeps me motivated. And by a smart scale, the scale that measures your body water, your protein, your
Oh,
visceral fat, your fat percentage, it gives you all of the other things, not just your weight. And you can see that on an app on your phone. It's linked to the app on your phone, and you can find them on Amazon. And then you can see that your visceral fat may be going down in addition to your overall body fat, but then your skeletal muscle may be going up and your muscle mass may be kind of evening out. So again, the scale is sometimes your friend, but I use a smart scale that tells me all the other numbers, not just what the LBS is, the pounds. I'm not interested in just that.
yeah. You're
So,
better than me because I don't step on the scale anymore because I was always disappointed and couldn't understand why I weighed more than both of my parents. And, my doctor's like, because your parents are getting older and they're losing their muscle and you're still lifting weights. And that's why you weigh more. So stop looking at that, as they're getting older, unfortunately, that's what's happening to them. They're not going to be those like big, strong people that you remember when you were a kid. That's why you weigh more. So I had to kind of put that together like, oh, okay.
and I agree, if it's just a regular scale, that'll
Yeah.
just break your heart. And
Yes.
so, but the smart scale will give you those other numbers. It sends like a little tiny pulse through your body. It doesn't cause any type of cancer or any kind of radiation issues, just a pulse, and it can measure your fat, your muscle, your body water. It'll even give you your metabolic age. And that was the
Wow.
other thing that just shook me to the core, because when I started on my weight loss journey, when I first got on the scale, it said that my metabolic age was 63 years old. And
Oh.
I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
like, oh no. And when I tell you that day, that day, within the hour, I got in my car and went to the gym. Like, because I said, oh no, no. No. So I say all that to say that these scales, whether you trust the information or not, it gives you the other information that you may need. And it'll help to hold you accountable. So you will do the right thing. So I like the fact that you have shared all these different programs, because we all need instruction. Sometimes it's best to have a partner to work with you. But if not, then how great is it that you can use one of these programs and get it either on a DVD or through streaming? And that's definitely the first course of action, just so that you have that instruction to keep you going. But if not, because we know, the people's money is funny and the economy is where the economy is right now. And you're like, you know what? I just don't have the money to pay for a membership, even at a gym, or to buy the DVDs. There, you still need to do the squats, the push-ups, the lunges. Go to Amazon and just buy an inexpensive set of dumbbells so you can do those curls and shoulder presses. Again, won't cost you anything. Go in your pantry and get a jug of water and try lifting that jug of water on a regular basis, and that'll help. But at least it's something. It's not nothing. The planks, floor exercises, all of
Yeah.
those things will just keep you building that strength. And there's just the usual old school stuff of like the walking, the swimming, the biking, the dancing. Those things are amazing for building the cardio strength as well as the muscle. Just get out and walk like 30 minutes a day. After dinner, just walk. You don't have to do the power walk, but just walk.
Yeah,
It
just to
just gets
move.
your body moving. Yes, let's move. Let's just focus on the moving. And if you could just do just 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. Can you commit to that? Can you commit to 20 minutes a day? Because I know that you're going to say, "Oh, I don't have time for that." And we really need to talk about the time excuse, because I'm not buying it. I don't accept the time excuse. And I'll tell you why. Because so many of you out there, and you know everything that's going on the Real Housewives, you know everything that's going on your favorite show on Max or on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, you know everything that's going on, but you don't have time to work out.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I don't, no, 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 no. Because what I say to the people who know everything that's going on is, while you are sitting there, can you do a bicep curl while you're sitting there watching what's going on in Potomac and in Atlanta and in Dubai, and what's happening on the Netflix shows? Can you do some knee lifts? Can you do some leg lifts? Can you do something while you're there? Yeah, I know some of you have kids that are running around. Well, run around with them, run
Yeah.
around after them. Get on the floor, do some push ups, some sit ups while you're taking care of your kids. There is no excuse. I'm not buying the time thing. I'm just not.
And you know what? I would go a little bit further and say, I did see something where there are some of your fitness people out there that say, turn the TV off and really give yourself that time. Because remember that we're exercising and your brain is a part of your body. So sometimes if you're doing like different workouts, it takes focus. That's something that helps to keep your mental the sharpness in you, your mental acuity. So I would say just give yourself, if you're going to be serious and take that 20 minutes and say, okay, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes, I can do that. Try to focus on that workout because your mind and your body go together. You know, that's your time to just kind of exhale and release some things, especially like I used to when Sonji and I did work together, I would get off and go and work out because some of those things that I would hear, you can gain that like trauma from someone else and carry that with you. So that was my way of trying to release that. So sometimes you need to focus on you and just your own health. So your mental health is a part of that workout too, and making sure that you can just focus on it and release everything and just give your whole body a workout. And even with doing some of the videos that I've done, it takes coordination, especially if it's an agility workout. You need to focus. So your brain is like, okay, how do my feet move? What am I doing? So if you're doing kind of those football drills that people do, and they do a lot of agility workouts, that's you need that coordination. Or again, if you're going to dance and you've never done it before, you need to focus. So I would say let your brain get the exercise too. Turn off the TV and just focus on you and your body and what you're doing.
The poor brain health takes us to at least two of the other ologists that we always have to track down. We have people who reach a certain age and they need the neurologist, for the brain and nerve health, and then the psychologist, because it all just goes to one big pile of mess, and now they need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
So let's fix it before you have to go to another ologist. We can sit here all day and name the ologist, and we really don't want you
No.
doing that, because the ologists start to pile up. You look up and you're going to 8 ologists, and
Uh,
that's crazy.
and
That's
then
crazy.
you know what's sad too is I book like my yearly appointments. I've tried to do it in advance. And I tell you what, just to go to my dermatologist, I like to go once a year just to have her do the once over to make sure molds and things like that, are all good. It takes 4 months to get an appointment with just a dermatologist for skin.
Yes.
So you think about an endocrinologist, nephrologist, cardiologist, all of these people, podiatrists. I was interested in going just because I'm at that age now where I want my feet to be, examined since I'm always standing and working in retail, and it's like, oh, forget it. He's like 6, 8 months out.
And that's very standard. And for those of
Yes.
you who live in rural areas, it's
Yeah.
very hard to find an ologist.
Yes.
And you have to wait months
Yeah.
sometimes to get in.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with just staffing. They don't have the staff that they used to have pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Like this started back during the pandemic, when people started, not coming into work because of the pandemic. And then when everything opened up, people got used to being home and they didn't go back into work. So a lot of these specialists just don't have the staff to support them. So as a result, you need to see a nephrologist. Good luck trying to get over there like within the next 2 weeks, even. It
Yeah.
may take months, and you may need to see that person. So let's like get to the point where we don't need them. And I'm not trying to put these specialists out of business, but I'm just also saying I don't want you to have to go to them,
Oh
because
no.
once you start getting on the ologist train, you can't get off. It's really hard.
I think a lot of it too, Sonji, is they just don't have that many specialists anymore. When you think of it, who is actually going to med school for this or this or this? Like, I don't know anyone who's like, oh, I was studying to become a podiatrist. Like, I had a girl that I grew up with, and she always knew, like, everybody would ask us when we were little, what do you want to be? And I was like, I want to be a fashion designer. And she's like, I want to be a doctor. And I mean, she went on and became a doctor, but it wasn't like a specialist type doctor. So, I mean, she said to me, to do that, you have to not only go to med school, but then you have to go and extend that. And so I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
into
okay.
residency and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It takes years just to become board certified.
Yeah. There goes more debt. So, I mean, when you think about it, who's studying anymore to just become, oh, I'm going to be a nephrologist? No,
Right. I know a lot of doctors. I don't know a nephrologist. I
no.
don't. None of the people I know. But the whole debt thing
Yeah.
brings up a whole nother thing,
Yes.
because some of these specialists don't take Medicare. They
Yes.
don't. But here's why: because they have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars getting their education, and then building a practice, and having all the equipment and things that goes along with that, and having to pay for a staff. They can't afford to have patients who are on like the low contracted rate that Medicare will pay.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, if you're going to come to my office, you have to come with regular commercial insurance or pay out of pocket. So if you are in your 40s and 50s, you are approaching the Medicare age, and you can't say, oh, I'm going to always have commercial insurance. You don't know what the future brings. Like you don't know what the future will hold. You have to go on Medicare if it's still around. Let us pray. But then what happens when you have to see a specialist and then you can't find one who will see you with your insurance because you're on Medicare, or you live in a rural area where there are no specialists? Then what? So this is why we're trying to implore you, like I implore you, like let's get to the point where we don't have to even go there, that we start now, today, um, building our health so that we're strong, we're healthy, we're within a good weight range, so that you don't have to go through the whole list of ologists. I'm telling you, because this is what I do for a living, you don't want to be in that boat. You, you, you just don't. So what's the takeaway? What do we want people to walk away with today saying, oh my goodness, I need to make a change or do something new today?
I'd say the takeaway is that you can start immediately. You don't have to have equipment. You don't have to have memberships. You don't have to do that, even though I talked about different programs that were popular right now. You don't have to do those. Or you could do the whole Cliff Note version, go and look at those websites and kind of see the movement and get started on your own. You don't always have to have the instructor. You can do things on your own. But again, make sure that you're working with your doctor. Tell your doctor what type of exercise you're interested in. Hey, I noticed this. I saw this. Do you think that's something that would be good for my body and for me to do? Get the okay, and then figure out what you want to do. Every doctor is always going to tell you, hey, start by walking. When you don't know what to do, start walking. A lot of doctors, when you're going to see your gynecologist, are going to tell you, hey, guess what? You need to start strength training because as we age, we women lose muscle. So please make sure that you are strength training to build that muscle. Well, go and purchase some very cheap weights. They don't cost that much, especially if you can only get one pair of weights. I would say get 3 to 5 pounds so that you're not overexerting yourself, but you're getting some type of workout. So, depending on your budget, do what's best for you. But even if you, let's just say, don't have a budget, do the walking. I'm pretty sure you already have your sneakers. So get out there and start doing the walking. And then as you get better, just start incorporating something. If you cannot afford the weights, 2 16-ounce water bottles. You see people holding those all the time in the park and doing their little, you know, aerobics as they're walking. You can do any of that and still get a good workout. So don't feel like you have to have the moon and back. Just get going with what you can right now.
Yes, invest in your health. Don't consider it an expense. It's an investment. It's
Yeah.
not an expense, it's an investment. And what I would say is please don't use time as an excuse. I get it. I get it. I get it. I know what it's like to work a full-time job. I know what it's like to have kids who are doing all kinds of different activities that have you stretched. I know what it's like to also be a member of various organizations that have you running around. I know what it's like to have a husband who wants to do various things, to go out and do. I get it. But we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We do. And so just take 10 minutes. If 10 minutes is all that you can give, take the 10 minutes and do some knee lifts, leg lifts, lift the water jug in your pantry, just something. We'd rather you do the 20 minutes, the 30 minutes a day, but do something, even while you're just watching television or sitting watching your child's baseball game. Move while you're watching. Move. You can move. So the time is really just an excuse that you've manufactured, and that's something that needs to go away immediately. Let's start today.
Yep. Only get one body.
Yes. We hope you found our conversation as insightful and thought-provoking as we did. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. Click on the link that says text the show if you're listening to us on one of the podcast platforms. Your feedback means the world to us and helps others discover our podcast.
Please be sure to follow us on social media. We have our Instagram, of course, Girlie Ladies. And then we have our own personal Instagram. Mine is at the KJBFF.
And I am at Sonji Cosby. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all of the social media platforms. But we just love hearing from you. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most of all, keep growing. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.